Thank you for inviting me to speak at the DCP Faculty Leadership and Management, and I'd just like to start off by saying my apologies for not being able to be there in person today. I've been asked to speak about what is good leadership, and I'm aware that many of you probably don't know who I am, so I'll start by saying a little bit about myself and how I ended up at the BPS. Prior to this role, I was the Chief Exec for engineers working in the energy industry. Prior to that, I worked for a financial services membership body, and prior to that, I worked for the Law Society, which is the professional body for solicitors in England and Wales. Immediately prior to that, I worked in a number of organisations and charities, both in the UK and internationally. So I've been asked to speak about what I think makes a good leader. I think a lot of that I think it's individual, and leaders bring their own experience and baggage with them. Certainly for me, it's important that a leader looks at growing an organisation and the people within the organisation. So that often means taking a long-term strategic focus. I also think it's important for leaders to demonstrate the behaviour that they expect from others within the organisation. So it's actually kind of delivering by doing. I also think it's important for leaders to deliver. Another aspect of good leadership, I think, is around challenging the status quo, often saying, why aren't we doing this rather than how are we doing this, and taking risky decisions and having the courage of your convictions. A good leader has the ability to take individuals and organisations with them on a journey by painting a vision of where they want to go. And that means recognising and listening to the people that work with you and for you, being honest with them and appreciating their efforts, and learning to manage teams and knowing what your strengths are and what others can bring to the table. I've been asked to speak about why good leadership is important in the health and social care sector. I think it's vital that we have good leadership at this moment in time, and partly that's because of the strain and severe pressure that the service is experiencing at the moment. These aren't just political decisions, they're not just budget cuts and financial cuts, but they're also reflecting the nature of the workforce and the strain it feels under. There's also concern about the supply of the future workforce. And then service users have increasingly high expectations of the kind of services they require and want. On top of that, there are also concerns around the impact of new technology and innovation. And certainly from BPS's perspective, one concern is around the standard and quality of those services. And that's why good leadership is important at this moment in time for the health and social care sector. It's around supporting, valuing and nurturing the staff that work in this environment to ensure that they've got everything they need to be able to do their job effectively. One of the questions that has been put to me has been around how can BPS support the next generation of leaders in psychology. I think we've got to recognise that we represent a diverse profession with individuals that come from both practice, context and academia, and so leadership will take different forms in different environments. I also think that we've been shy in saying that BPS is a professional representative body, and I think we should embrace that. One of the activities that I've been involved in since my arrival is to look at the society review, and the message that has clearly come out of that is around supporting members. So we want to work for an organisation and be an organisation that puts members first, that helps facilitate their development through the provision of CPD and training, that speaks out on their behalf when they experience challenges at work, and that supports the development of psychology in general. I think another strength that BPS can bring in terms of developing the next generation of leaders is actually the strength in our diversity. We've got over 151 different networks, and one of our roles at BPS, I think, is to foster mutual collaboration and strengthen partnership across these networks. This partnership approach can be a source of diversity and fertile ground for developing leadership and intellectual content. I think BPS is a broad church, and our strength actually lies in our diversity and the number of networks that we have around BPS. We feel that we have a duty to promote and foster partnership and collaboration across these networks. That provides a useful tool not just for networking but also from learning from different groups and looking at what works and doesn't work in slightly different work contexts, which can all be useful. I think that there is another role for BPS to play in terms of developing and meeting the needs of our membership. One of the activities that we've been involved in during the Society Review is to listen to members and to try and understand what they need in terms of their future career development, and that's an opportunity for BPS to play a more active role within. And last but not least, I think BPS has an important role in supporting the current generation of leaders who are experiencing significant stress and challenges within their work environments. And I think the BPS has a role to play in embracing the professional body that it can and should be. Once again, my apologies for not being able to be there on the day, but I do hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. My door's always open, so please feel free to contact me. Thank you.